I'm Jim Kennard. Today we're going to talk about covering the in the garden greenhouse. As you can see, it's all built and ready, but you can also see that the sun is going more to the south. We are actually expecting frost in the next few days. We're in southeastern Idaho where it can freeze in early September. Let's take a look at the plastic we're going to be putting on this. For our greenhouse covering here in Idaho, I have chosen the woven poly. It's actually nylon reinforced plastic, and it's from Greenhouse Plastic Company in North Dakota. Bob Davis is the proprietor. He'll take good care of you, and he'll actually custom make it for your specifications. This piece is actually 30 feet by 30 feet, and we came up with that by measuring the size of the greenhouse that we're making. A 30 foot by 30 foot piece of plastic was chosen because we have got 13.5 feet wide across the top, and we've got 15-foot long beds or boxes. We'll lay it over the in the garden greenhouse arch, and the ends on the sides will have ample to sandwich between 1x2s, and then on the ends it will come down. We will cut it off at the height of our T-frames, and then we will patch to make a door and the access to the greenhouse. By the way, all of these plans and illustrations are available in the Mittleider Gardening Course book in the back. So be sure you get the book and use that so that you cannot make any mistakes. Let's look now at the 1x2s I'm going to use to sandwich the plastic. What I've done is I have taken some 8-foot long 1x2s, stretched them out, measured them, and cut them to the exact length of the bed. You'll see an extra piece of wood down there. Then I have pre-drilled the second set into the first set. We do not want to have the joint in the same place on the upper and lower pieces of wood, and so we'll have 8-foot pieces on the bottom. Then I'll put an 8-foot piece centered on the top, and then we'll cut 4-foot pieces on the end. They'll be actually a little less than 4 feet because we're not 16 feet here. So as you can see, I have already screwed 2 of these together so that they will be pre-drilled and we can do it quickly. I'll actually undo those screws when we put the plastic on. We have cut these pieces so that they fit on top of each other with lapping over the joint. And I have pre-drilled a couple of holes on each end so that I can then make sure that I don't split the wood when I'm actually putting a screw in. And I will actually start these screws. You can see the joint there, and I have got an 8-foot piece centered over that joint. I'm going to actually screw it together now so that we can get it and put it in place on the other side of the greenhouse. We'll take those out once it comes time to attach them to the plastic. We've taken our 30 by 30 foot piece of plastic and we have done an accordion kind of fold on it so that we can handle it as we take it over to the greenhouse. Before you put the plastic on the greenhouse, you have got to make sure and eliminate any sharp edges. I'm going to use the sander, the belt sander here, to sand off this edge, and maybe a little touch here and there. There in the center where we've got our high ridge, I'll sand that off. Then we will put duct tape over those edges as well, and then we'll put the plastic up. Yeah, it's old guy's rule in this outfit. We've got this centered on the greenhouse, and now we're going to climb ladders and try and carry it over and lay it down on the other side. Here we go.
Wish us luck.
Okay, here we go. Preparing as many layers as we can. Getting it up onto the greenhouse over the corner. Can you take another bundle of handful underneath there and get more of it? Taking it right over the top. We have enough on that end. Is it still on the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Good deal. Okay, we'll move the ladder again. All right, now we're going to sandwich the greenhouse plastic between these 1x2s because the plastic is 30 feet long and the 1x2s are 15.5 feet. We want 7 feet 3 inches on each end, and we've placed them there. Now we're just putting the wood around the plastic, and we will then screw it in. Continue down, and we'll put several screws in. We're just going to lock it into the corners that we've already put in previously for the moment, and then we'll put additional screws in. So what we're doing is adding additional spots for the screws so that we've got lots of strength. And the next thing we'll do, we'll turn it over and put screws in from the opposite side, so we'll have double strength. It's a couple of days later now since we sandwiched our plastic between the 1x2s. I wanted to show you the next step that we do, which is fastening the plastic down on the ends. So now we've got the plastic pulled down here, and we actually put what you might call a covered wagon fold on it so that it stays tight. Screw a 1x2 into your 4x4s all the way across, and you do that on both sides, and now you've got your plastic secured and tight all the way around the greenhouse. It's not going to go anywhere. Typically, when you're doing this, or at least if you're anything like me, you're going to be doing it just a couple of days before the expected frost. Why? Well, because we want to keep those plants in the full sun as long as possible. And so we don't want to put that plastic up any sooner than we need to. So now we're going to get the plastic on. It's going to freeze in a couple of days. We're running out of time. Can we finish it off and make fancy doors here? Or is it really necessary to start with? I'm going to suggest that you do like I have done on occasion, and that is you just take this and you bring it over like this. You take this, bring it over. Of course, you've got your plastic all the way to the ground, and you just fasten it here. And you've got a secure greenhouse to keep the frost out. After you've got a little more time, then you can build the doors as explained in, I think it's Appendix C of your Mittleidergarden course book. And then of course it'll look beautiful and it'll be secure and do an even better job. But this will take care of it for the time being. Now we are putting in the posts that define the outer edges and the wall for the greenhouse. This goes 15 inches into the ground because it's an 8-foot post. It's a 2x4, and that we screw it into the top 4x4. We're able to walk inside of that wall in order to work in the grow boxes and harvest our crops. I'll actually put 3 of these in, one at each end and one at the center T-frame. We will put the dirt back in the hole a little bit at a time, then we'll take the handle of the shovel, and we will tamp it, being careful that we do not move our post, because we have got it vertical with our level, and we'll tamp it, and then we'll be through. Once we've got that dug 15 inches deep, then we want to make sure that it's level both directions and flush up against the 4x4. Then we'll screw it in place, put the soil back in, tamp it down, and we'll have our wall completed. I do like to pre-drill my wood before I put the screw in. That way it doesn't split the wood on us. And I'll put 3 screws in. One holds it, but 3 will make it good and secure. I'm now cutting the plastic, and I'm doing it just beyond our outside wall post. We will then fasten it to the post, and then we'll use this other plastic to make the end. Now we're going to be putting up our rope. This is going to roll up our plastic and hold it in place. We start with some eye hooks this size, and then we stretch them and make J-hooks out of them. I've just found that that works better than buying J-hooks. I start with 21 feet of rope. This is 1/4 inch nylon rope, and you may have to change that, but 21 feet works for me. I'm 81 inches off the ground. So I'm going to tie one of these right here. You can come and take a look. Always put a knot on the end of it, and then all I have to do is have a half knot, and we're going to go out at the other end on the other side. You see, you want to be able to have the knots in there and still be able to have the plastic on the ground. So I'm just going to tie a simple half knot there, and that holds that in place. Now I can lift this and make any number of height adjustments. I'm going to actually be rolling it, and I'll do that as soon as I get the second one put in place. Okay, if you did both of your ropes at the same time, then they are going to match, and it'll be quite easy to run them together. And here's how you do it in terms of lifting up your plastic. By the way, this is 16 feet long. I have come in 4 and in 4, and I've got about 8 in between. You roll the plastic inward rather than outward, and you start rolling it up from the center. And depending on how high you want to put your plastic, you just choose the one that you need, and you're good. Now, the reason I roll it inside, because if I rolled it toward the outside, rain would get in here and accumulate, and you'd get a lot of weight in there, and you might ruin something. So you want to have this rolled to the inside. Does that make sense? So very simply, we can roll it as high as we want or as low as we want. I actually have 7 different settings, and one person can do it. You just do it from the center, and then you just lap it there. There we go. Now you can get in, now the sun can get in. This is the best way to do it. Next, we will start working on the ends and show you how to finish this by securing the ends in place. We talked about sandwiching a 1/2 inch pipe inside of a 3/4 inch pipe, and this is the way that works. Just like that. Of course, we've got this one rolled up to give our greenhouse plenty of light and air. So now I have done this on the back. I've got my 3/4 inch PVC with 90 degrees angle cut out of it, and I have put a 1/2 inch PVC pipe in there, and that really is tight now. I can just pull it open, and of course I want to leave it. I have put my 1x2s on the bottom so that we've got the length right and the weight to hold it down. We have locked them in the center. We've locked them on the opposite side, and we got the 1x2s sandwiching the plastic on the bottom. So now we have got our south end enclosed and secure.